town is doing it, and it's stirring up controversy. Plus, learning from home, Mike Polk decided he would go right to the kids to see how that's going.
What's your favorite part of preschool?
Play and sing a song. Take-o, little star.
And meet the young cancer survivor who's going to be helping the Browns make their first draft pick tonight.
Thank you so much, and go Browns.
You definitely don't want to miss his story. What's New starts now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Welcome to What's New, everybody. I'm Betsy Kling here in the WKYC studios, and my partner, Jay Crawford, is reporting from home. Jay, how's it going tonight?
I'm going to give you the made-for-TV answer. Betsy, it couldn't be better. You know why? You're laughing because you know I've had a hard time here leading up to the show prep. It couldn't be better, Betsy, because we're a day closer to Friday.
You got that right.
I give thanks. Hello to you. Hello again to everyone watching from home. Thanks so much for choosing What's New. We'll jump right in to the latest headlines. The big news from Governor Mike DeWine's daily briefing today came just about at the end of it. He announced that Monday will be the big day that he unveils plans for phase one of reopening Ohio, specifically what businesses will be part of that plan. The governor also wanted to make a clarification on something he said yesterday about resuming elective surgeries. He says we are not ready for our entire healthcare system to come back online.
Well, this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. We think sometimes that, we got through this and we did well, but we're not through it yet. We through one battle, we've done very, very well, but the monster is still out there.
Yes, it is. Today, the governor said elective surgeries will take place only if patients meet certain conditions. Also, the doctor must agree that those procedures are worth the risk. And the total number of coronavirus cases now in Ohio stands just under 15,000. And we've graphed it for you over the last week so you can get some kind of sense of how these numbers change day to day. We have lost 656 people statewide to the virus. And to the point that we are at or near our peak, you can see that those numbers have nearly doubled over the past week.
We're working with the state and the federal governments, trying to get our members classified as first responders.
Well, grocery store workers are definitely on the front line of our fight against the coronavirus, most certainly. And the union representing them says employers are actually doing a pretty good job of following guidelines to keep their employees safe. And they believe the customers need to be more aware, too. Tiffany Tarpley shows us the challenge of keeping everyone safe.
Heinen says it is being honest with its customers. This location here in Strongsville is back open today after a second employee tested positive.
According to the grocery store, the most recent worker was last on the job Sunday. The results were announced Wednesday, and that's when this location closed for a deep cleaning. The Royalton Road store first shut down on Saturday after a different employee contracted the virus. Heinen's is making positive cases public on its website for several days, and Giant Eagle is doing the same. While some customers are changing their personal shopping habits overall, they are pleased with the precautions being taken.
It's nice they're wiping down all the carts. Everyone seems to be sort of social distancing appropriately. But it is sort of, it's a scary time generally.
I think it's going to be everywhere, whether you know it or not. And it's kind of inevitable, it's going to happen.
According to its website, Heinen's has installed plexiglass shields at registers like we've seen in other retailers. Starting yesterday, the grocer is requiring workers to wear masks or face shields.
And customers I spoke with say that they will continue to shop here and elsewhere to get their essential items. Tiffany Tarpley, 3 News.
Well, 2 pets, house cats in New York City, have now officially been diagnosed with COVID-19. And now the CDC is putting out guidelines for pet owners. It seems we are the bigger risk to them if we get infected. Senior health correspondent Monica Robbins has more on what you need to know to keep your fur family members safe. There is still no evidence our fur babies can give us coronavirus, but now 2 house cats and several lions and tigers in New York prove that we can pass it on to them. From the beginning, the CDC has said if we're infected, we must stay away from our pets. Now they're telling us we need to quarantine them too, meaning keeping the cats inside, avoiding the dog park, and casual interactions with other people and pets on walks. That 6-foot distance applies to them too. And which pets are more at risk?
They're thinking scientifically that cats and ferrets may be a little higher risk than dogs, just the way that the virus attaches or works in their body. And that's been shown with the New York cases and the tiger in the zoo and all that. But even still, cats and ferrets, just keep the cats inside so there's less exposure. And if you're a known positive, try to isolate away from your cats or any of your pets.
While it's possible for pets to get tested, it's also very expensive. They have to have a proven connection to an infected human. Every other respiratory ailment has to be ruled out, and then the state health department can give the go-ahead for a COVID test. But expect to pay a hefty price tag of at least $300. Or keep yourself and your pets safe by practicing the guidelines we already know work. Monica Robbins, 3 News.
All right, Monica, very interesting. Thank you for that report. The House is set to vote today on a new $480 billion relief package to help small businesses after the last money ran out, and it ran out in a hurry. There was some controversy about that as well. The original $2 trillion coronavirus stimulus package provided about $14 billion in relief to higher learning institutions. Even Harvard, which has a $40 billion endowment, got a piece of that pie, which, after a phone call from President Trump yesterday, the school now says it will give back to the government. Ohio colleges and universities are in line to get about $388 million. About half of the money will go to students and their families who may have lost work so they can pay the next tuition bill. Cleveland State University qualified for $12 million and is eager to get the money into the hands of its students.
Our aim is to give out $6 million to students in need, and we're going to announce how we're going to do that today. And my 2 priorities for giving the money out were get it to as many students as quickly as possible and as efficiently as possible. So our process is going to be simple. It's going to be easy. We're going to turn it around very quickly. The online, fully automated form is going to be ready on Monday.
Students will have to apply for the stimulus money themselves, like they have for other grants in the past. Several universities have told 3 News today they're setting up special web pages to make it easy. Now, here's an interesting story. Could drones be the next tool in the battle against the coronavirus? A small police department in Connecticut is testing the very controversial concept. Westport police are already using drones to warn people if they aren't following social distancing guidelines. But the company that makes the drones says they can also detect whether a person is running a fever or coughing heavily from a camera up to 40 feet in the air. The police chief says the technology could help the town reopen.
In a pandemic, we'll see the elevated temperatures, we'll see the increase in blood pressure, we'll see the flushed skin. So to have the technology available for future incidents, whether it be COVID related or something else that comes our way, I think we need to prepare for that.
Well, there are skeptics out there. Count me among them. I don't know how a camera can tell if I'm sick. They say there's no way that a person who can actually carry COVID can be detected by a camera. Also, the ACLU has raised concerns about privacy, as you would expect they would. The chief says right now they are collecting and keeping all that data for research. And I don't know, Betsy, sounds an awful lot like Big Brother to me. Kind of weird.
Definitely. I mean, how are they going to enforce it after that? One drone versus how many people, and then who gets to go and tap you on the shoulder and go, excuse me, you have to go home now. So, all right. Well, certainly something that I'm sure everybody's going to be keeping an eye on, too. Well, the coronavirus is not stopping singles from searching for love. Some apps like OkCupid are seeing a surge in users. And there's another perk. Since people can't meet up, they're actually spending more time talking. One company reported conversations stretching twice as long in recent weeks. Some companies are now offering options to meet over a video chat. And remember this, a dating expert says not to dwell on the current events too much. Instead, focus on getting to know each other. With all that chatting, I suppose it's a little bit easier these days. Now let's get a check on what else has been making headlines today with Sarah Shookman joining us from home today. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Betsy. I think the chatting's probably good for these relationships, these budding relationships. It's important.
Definitely.
Well, let's get to some serious news now. I know you were keeping an eye on this storm last night. Tornadoes are now being blamed for at least 7 deaths and dozens of injuries in Texas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana. One twister came down north of Houston. Dozens of homes were leveled and hundreds more damaged. Trees and power lines also knocked down. Tornadoes also tore through parts of Oklahoma, knocking down buildings and throwing cars into trees. Well, the unemployment numbers out again today, and they continue to soar. More than 4 million people applied for unemployment last week across the country. Since the spread of the coronavirus has forced states to shut down, more than 26 million people have applied for benefits. Here in Ohio, nearly 1 million people have filed for claims in the last 5 weeks. And here at home, lines were long again at the Greater Cleveland Food Bank distribution this afternoon. Boxes of food, including fresh produce, were given away at the city's Muni lot, where they've relocated to help feed more families. Food banks across the area have been hard hit with these requests as unemployment continues to skyrocket around the state. Betsy?
All right. Thank you, Sarah. We'll catch up with you again in just a little bit. Jay, over to you.
Betsy, tonight's the first round of the NFL draft, and as most fans know, Cleveland has the 10th pick overall, and they will also have a good luck charm. His name is Fletcher Greyer. He's a 12-year-old cancer survivor and a Browns fan through and through. In fact, he'll get to make a little announcement tonight before the Browns' first pick. Brandon Simmons has his story.
Fletcher Rollinson is a 12-year-old from Cleveland with a rare opportunity as he gets to help announce the Browns' first draft pick tonight. And because of COVID-19, this is the first draft being done remotely for all the teams in the NFL. Also rare, the cancerous brain tumor that he has been fighting for the last 9 months with help from doctors at St. Jude Hospital in Memphis. His diagnosis is so rare, there was no real roadmap for how to treat it. Now, along the way, Fletcher gained a friend in Browns receiver Jarvis Landry, who he met during a tour of the Browns training facility last year. The two have been buddies ever since, with Jarvis sending messages of support to Fletcher throughout his journey.
And then I saw out of the corner of my eye from one of the hallways, just Jarvis Landry walk into the room, and I was starstruck. When I got back from radiation, they invited us to a game, and he gave me a pair of his gloves. And the Browns filmed that and put it on TikTok.
Some very memorable moments for him, obviously. Now, the good news, Fletcher's tumor has been removed, and following his surgery, he completed 6 weeks of proton radiation and 4 rounds of chemotherapy just to be sure. Now, for Fletcher, tonight's chance to help the Browns introduce their first pick to the world is no better way to share his inspirational story and celebrate his victory over cancer. Let's hope his knack for winning carries over to the Browns season. I'm Brandon Simmons, 3 News.
Wow, Brandon, thanks. That is a great story. We will be watching for him tonight. Now, what will the Browns do with that number 10 overall pick? Will they make that pick? Will they trade up or maybe down? All options are on the table. The voice of the Browns, Jim Donovan, will join us later on What's New to tell us what is the most likely scenario. Also ahead on What's New, more than a month into homeschooling, so how's it going? Mike Polk went right to the kids to get the answer. That, no doubt, will be our daily laugh. Plus, Stephanie Haney has good news in Clicking in Cleveland.
Jay, people complained and Ticketmaster listened. There are changes coming to that refund policy. We'll break it down for you. Now back to Betsy in the studio for our forecast. Hi, Betsy.
Hi there, Steph, and I'll tell everybody something. The rain showers and clouds are here right now, but we do have some brighter skies on the horizon. We are going to get a check of the forecast straight ahead.
Oh, God. Sorry. Damn it. Oh. Welcome back to What's New. Earlier this week, we learned that kids sadly will not be going back to the classroom for the rest of this academic year. So after a month plus of learning online from home and through video calls, our Mike Polk wanted to see how it was going. So he went right to the source, talking to local kids to see how they're adjusting.
You hear that sound? That's the sound of no kids at a school. It's pretty quiet, because all the kids are stuck at home right now. Which has to be kind of weird. So I decided to check in with some of my friends' kids to see how that was going. So what sort of things did they teach you in first grade this year? What was your favorite subject?
Math.
So I'm just going to give you a couple of math problems and we'll see how you do. What is 5 plus 4?
9.
All right, you're going to be hard to stump. Let's get a little bit trickier. What is 4 plus 5?
9.
Oh yeah, that's right. I just did that one. I just mixed them up. All right, never mind. What? Hey Beckett, which friends do you miss the most?
Griffin, Aaron, Cool Mac.
Cool Mac? You know a child named Cool Mac?
Cool Mac.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. That's cool. I just thought he had like a rad nickname. What grade are you in, Gabrielle?
I'm in preschool.
How are you doing in preschool?
Good, good, good.
What's your favorite part of preschool?
Play and sing a song. Take-o, yellow star.
Do you guys each have friends that you miss a lot? Tell me your top 3 friends.
Top 3 friends.
And remember, you might make some people mad here.
Well, hopefully they don't watch this.
You can only say hi to 3 friends, no more. Who are they and who doesn't make the cut?
Oh my God.
What are you learning in math class?
The solutions to algebraic equations.
I can't really quiz you on that because I don't know what that is. I'm just gonna take your word for it that it's going well. How do you do gym class now? So this is gym class. Nice. What is 25 plus 7?
31, I think.
Hold on, let me check. I don't know if that's right. I think I came up with 34.
No, 32.
Were you testing me that whole time? And the student has become the teacher.
About how many hours will it take to travel 410 miles at an average speed of 50 miles per hour?
Sorry, we're breaking up. Uh-oh. I think these things are so wonky. Yep, it's definitely going out.
Take-o, yellow star. How I know the run you are.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I'm standing up for it. I'm standing up. That was amazing, Gabrielle. Oh wow, you're really missing some teeth there, huh? Did you get some money for that?
$20 each time.
$20 each time? Did you know the Tooth Fairy pays $20 a tooth now? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna start knocking mine out. This one is just... Children! Children! I don't know how these teachers do it. Or parents. This is Mike Polk, making sure everyone's keeping their eyes on their own paper for 3 News.
Mike, you're also making sure that we all laugh at a time when we all need it. You may have recognized, by the way, our own Danielle Wiggins kids in there. They are precious. Kristen and Jeremiah. Also, Lena Lai's girls, Kayla and Karina, equally as precious in that group. Thanks to all the kids and the families for chatting with us. And thanks especially to the always funny Mike Polk. You never let me down. As we pivot to weather now, Betsy, your oldest has been online learning. I wonder how she's adjusted to that and how you've adjusted to that.
I am still trying to grasp the idea of the Tooth Fairy leaving $20 a tooth. I'm thinking
I know.
We got the wrong Tooth Fairy at our house.
Yeah. And we were born too early. I was lucky if I got a quarter.
Is that adjusted for inflation? Or, I mean, there's got to be some economic reasoning going on here. $20
It's unbelievable.
Holy moly.
I like what Mike said. He's going to start knocking his teeth out for $20 a pop.
I would totally do that too. Oh my word. Well, I'll tell you what, everybody settle down. We do have some great weather that's coming in, so don't be knocking your teeth out because you're going to need it to smile at everybody when the weather gets nice and we get to see some sunshine. Over the next few hours, we still have some rain showers around. It's kind of dreary and a little murky, but it's been warmer today. Temperatures are in the upper 50s, even some low 60s on the map. We will find the mercury slide as we head into the overnight. There's the big picture of the Doppler radar, and you can kind of see the swirl that's encompassing the eastern half of the country. That's an area of low pressure that will be sliding to our south. Severe weather again going on in the panhandle of Florida, North Florida. But we're kind of on the northern periphery of this with just some scattered showers, and it's just kind of yucky out there overall. So the clouds will stay with us. These scattered showers stay with us as well, but look at the temperatures. We're 53, that's the cool spot in Ashtabula. 50 in Elyria, but we have a little bit of lake influence going on with the wind flow. You can kind of see how the winds are converging upon a line here. That line has been waffling back and forth close to the lakeshore. When it goes farther north, the temperatures go up and then the temperatures come down. Last hour it was 61 degrees at the Cuyahoga County Airport, but it doesn't look like this is going to be moving all that much. As a matter of fact, it's all going to start to sink south as a stationary front drifts south. National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast keeps the scattered showers in the forecast as we head through the overnight hours. We'll continue with a northeasterly wind, which will help to push that boundary farther to the south. There's good and bad with that. It'll cool us off, but it's also going to bring in some drier air. So temperatures tomorrow morning will be 40s lakeside, 50s farther south, headed for the 60s tomorrow in Dover while we stay in the 40s along the lakeshore. But the good news is we're going to see some peaks of sunshine, especially as we head through the afternoon and into the evening hours. But this is the time of year when the lakefront folks get a lot colder than everybody else, unfortunately. And those farther south toward tropical Dover have a lovely, lovely day. Universal Windows Direct forecast has those low 50s for us for tomorrow. That's kind of an average. 40s lakeside, 60s farther south, 60 with rain moving in late day Saturday. We'll continue with rain on Sunday, and then things start to get a little bit warmer as we even bring a thunderstorm chance back into the forecast next week. We'll be right back. we do have something actually happening in the sports world tonight. It's kind of a big deal, too, which is very exciting, but that is not the only thing people have been clicking on here in Cleveland today. Stephanie Heinen joins us now from home with more on what's been on people's hit list today.
Well, you know, Betsy, if you don't ask for what you want, it makes it a little bit tougher to get it. And people let Ticketmaster know that they were not happy with the refund policy. And now we are going to see some changes from Ticketmaster. If you remember, we previously talked about how people were upset they couldn't get refunds unless an event was straight up canceled. But there have been so many events that have been postponed and rescheduled due to COVID-19. And with those new dates, those don't always work for people. And sometimes there is no new date on the calendar. Well, now Ticketmaster says that starting May 1st, you can get refunds for changed events, even if they don't cancel. But here's the kicker. You do have to wait until they set a new date. Then you have only 30 days to request that refund. And for events that are just postponed, you will be able to get those refunds eventually, but you do have to wait until they set a new date. So keep that in mind. Now, along those same lines about people letting other people know what they are not happy about, Target workers are not happy about how people are acting in the stores during this pandemic. So the group Target Workers Unite is calling for a sick-out on May 1st. Now, a post on the group's website says that Target acts like its employees are disposable when they are, in fact, essential workers. So they want workers to stay home that day. The group says at Target, the foot traffic and shoppers' behavior has been atrocious, and no one, not workers or guests, have been required to wear masks in the stores. Target said today that they provide face masks and gloves to all team members, and they do monitor the foot traffic in the store. But the group says they are not doing enough, and quite frankly, people are just going to the store when they're bored, and they are not having it. And one more thing we want to remind you about today. Yes, we do have that big NFL draft coming up. Jimmy Donovan's going to talk about that in a little bit. We also are going to have a live blog tonight on WKYC.com, so make sure you check that out for all the updates, Betsy.
Well, we definitely will, and I know I'm one of those people in Target that goes in, I have something specific I am going for, but sometimes I do get distracted. Can't help it. All right. Thanks, Stephanie. Appreciate it. Well, as Stephanie mentioned, everybody, welcome back. It's draft day. Voice of the Browns, Jimmy Donovan, joins us to talk about the Browns' moves tonight and through the next couple of days that are still to come. And from comfy to cute, styles that you can work from home in that won't have you feeling frumpy.
One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Back to What's New. I'm Jay Crawford from home. Betsy Kling is back in the WKYC Studios. Betsy, we always start the second half hour with a story to make us smile, warm our hearts, our superheroes without capes, and you've got a good one today.
We definitely do, Jay. Today, our three heroes are the Chesterland Rotary Club. They delivered 40 to 50 pizzas to hospital workers at the UH Geauga Medical Center this morning. The Chester Township Police Department escorted the Rotary Club to the hospital. Now, if you would like to nominate some three heroes, send us a photo. You can text it to us and a brief description of your nominee in a text, and you send the text to 216-344-3300. We want to share them on the air and let everybody know how everybody is helping each other out, certainly. Well, Sarah Shookman is also one of our home working people on the TV for you. And Sarah, I know I've had a lot of people asking how you're doing, how you're feeling. We'll let you answer that coming up in just a little bit. But first, you have some of the newest stories here at the bottom of the hour.
Yeah, let's get to the headlines first. Then we can talk about pregnancy. Tyson, a fresh meats plant, has temporarily closed in Indiana to test hundreds of employees for COVID-19. Now, starting today, at least 2,200 workers will be tested, and the company isn't sure when the plant will reopen. The plant is at the epicenter of an outbreak that has sickened hundreds of people. It's now being deep cleaned and sanitized. Well, back in Cleveland, the master of disasters brought its disinfecting truck to Burke Lakefront Airport this morning to sterilize N95 masks. These masks are being used by Cleveland police officers, firefighters, and EMS workers on the front lines. And if you have ever been to Stan Hewitt in Akron, you know the grounds are beautiful, and now you can enjoy them for free. Starting Friday, visitors can walk and explore the gardens from 10 until 3. Seniors can come even earlier from 8:30 until 10 a.m. These walks will be available Wednesday through Sunday, and all of those social distancing rules still apply. Now, Betsy, I know you've been over there. If the weather is cooperating, man, that sounds like a lovely little escape. What a beautiful place it is.
It definitely is, certainly. And so, Sarah, you're feeling good. Everybody's very concerned. They want an update.
I am. I'm feeling good. I know nobody can see my bump anymore because it's cut off right where the camera. That's intentional, folks. But no, I'm getting bigger, a little more uncomfortable, sleeping, standing, pretty much always. But everything's going good. Baby's healthy and hanging out where he or she is supposed to be for a few more weeks.
Oh, that is so cool. Thank you for the update. I really appreciate it. We have had a lot of people that want to know, and they miss you very much. And miss seeing the bump, too. Thanks, Sarah. Jay, over to you.
Thanks, Betsy.
All right, Betsy, thanks. I love the fact that Sarah and her husband are going to be surprised by the gender of their child on birthday. Old-fashioned, I like it. Our top talker this half hour is tonight's NFL draft. Forget the drama and intrigue about who will be drafted where. I won't be able to blink tonight just to see how they pull this thing off. The commissioner will be announcing the picks from his basement. And of course, it'll all be done virtually, just like my family does every year for our NFL draft. What could possibly go wrong? It's literally like a fantasy draft, but this is real. The voice of the Browns, Jim Donovan, is here now with the very latest. Jim, what are you expecting to happen tonight?
Well, I think it's going to be really a very, very welcomed event. I mean, we have not really had any kind of sports event with any kind of results or any kind of importance in the present tense since really early March. So we've all been waiting for this, and the NFL draft is going to have a huge audience tonight as everybody is anticipating just the fact that maybe football is on the horizon, certainly in the NFL draft phase. So it's going to be unique. It's probably going to have a bunch of hiccups, but it's also going to be a forgiving audience. I mean, we are that starved for actual sports. So here we go tonight. All right, what are the Browns going to do? In the hours leading up to 8 o'clock, when everybody goes on the clock, the Browns certainly have a priority to get a left tackle. We've been hammering away at that in the walk-up to the NFL draft. There are a couple of ways to do it. One of the ways, and it's very interesting, and it's very progressive, and it would be a now wow move for the Browns to pull off a trade with the Washington Redskins and get all-pro left tackle, 31 years old, Trent Williams. That is still on the table right now. The Browns are in there. There are said to be up to 4 teams negotiating with the Redskins to get Trent Williams on their team. But the Browns seem to be the team that can do the most. They can handle the most under the salary cap. No other team in the NFL right now has the salary cap room that the Browns have. But that's not the point. It's all compensation. The Redskins seem to be sitting on the desire to get a second-round pick. Would the Browns do that? A lot of teams are saying that's too expensive for a 31-year-old tackle. But if the Browns were able to get Trent Williams, it would completely change the rest of the draft for the Browns. Suddenly they would come off the tackle position and they would go to defense. But let's say that does not happen, okay? They do not get the deal done for Trent Williams. They still need a left tackle. Let's go to the guys that they like, okay? We know this. The Browns really like this kid from the University of Iowa, Tristan Wirfs. They love his athleticism. He is a super athlete who has played on the right side at Iowa. He would have to go to the left side here in Cleveland. But they feel he's so athletic and so gifted, he'd be able to do that. But everybody else feels the same way about Wirfs. So the chance that Wirfs would be there at number 10 for the Browns is slim. He's being penciled in at number 4 to the New York Giants right now. My guy, and the safest pick for the Browns, keeping it simple, would be to get a guy that actually plays left tackle, and there he is. Out of the University of Georgia, Andrew Thomas, a right tackle in his freshman year. He blocked for Nick Chubb in that year. Then he went to left tackle the last 2 years, and he has played it very, very well. He's a perfect guy for the Browns. He knows the position. He would be what they would call a plug-and-play guy. You pick him, you put him at left tackle. He's probably there between 7 to 10 years with good health, and the Browns love the character of Andrew Thomas. But that might be a white knuckler. They'll have to wait and see if he's there at number 10, if they're still in the market for a tackle. Now, the big question would be, because I believe Mekhi Becton out of the University of Louisville will be there at number 10, but how much do the Browns like him? He is mammoth, okay? 6'6", 6'7", 365 pounds. There was a flag drug test at the Indianapolis Combine that doesn't seem to have worried a lot of teams in the NFL. I don't know where the Browns are in on that position, whether or not that would scare them away from Becton. He's a true left tackle. He's a huge left tackle. Could he fit into what they want to do in the offensive line and move laterally in this wide zone blocking scheme that they're going to use this year? So that kind of sets the table where they are at left tackle. The Trent Williams situation is fluid right now, Jay. The Browns are right in there negotiating with the Redskins to see if they could pull the deal off. As I said, it would completely change their draft strategy. If they got him, they would go to defense, then right away linebacker, safety, maybe a corner.
High drama. I'm with you. I like the kid from Georgia. He's playing against top-line talent in the Southeastern Conference. And as for the Louisville kid, great talent. But if there is a franchise, Jim, in the NFL that cannot afford to be burned by another drug concern, it's the Browns. We remember Josh Gordon. We remember Antonio Callaway. They cannot go down that road again.
Yeah, that's right. And especially, Jay, at a number 10 spot, which apparently that would be where they were picking him. That would be a real problem. Callaway was a 4th rounder, you're right, but there were red flags all over that. Some people aren't concerned with Becton. Other people might be. The Browns are pretty conservative, this new front office. I would have to really be convinced that they would be okay with him.
It's going to be high drama for sure. Jimmy, thanks so much. We'll see you at 6 o'clock. Betsy?
Okay, Jay.
Oh, the discussions are certainly going to be continuing as the evening carries on. Well, it's time now for our pop break. Stephanie Heinen has more on what some of our favorite celebrities have been up to.
Jerry Seinfeld is back. Not that he ever went far, but the first official trailer was released today for his first comedy special in 22 years. Dropping on Netflix on May 5th, it's called 23 Hours to Kill, an homage to the Bond film Goldfinger.
You have
interfered with my plans for the last time!
What plans? You don't even have a lair. This is a comedy club dressing room.
The special, filmed at New York's Beacon Theater, promises to deliver Seinfeld's unique and hilarious perspective on everyday life. Many celebs are giving back during this pandemic. Now it's Beyoncé's turn. Her foundation, Be Good, is partnering with Twitter founder Jack Dorsey to donate $6 million to mental health organizations. On her website, Beyoncé says Be Good recognizes the mental and personal health burdens being placed on essential workers, and she wants to help. And Goldie Hawn and her daughter Kate Hudson are spilling family secrets as they grace the cover of People's Beautiful issue with Kate's daughter, Rainey Rose. In an interview for the special edition, Kate shared what it was like growing up with Goldie as her mom.
You were strict when you needed to be strict.
Yes.
You were honest.
Yeah.
And you were incredibly supportive.
Goldie definitely didn't put up with bad behavior, and she said she always knew Kate would be a strong person because Kate kicked her so hard when she was on the way to the hospital before she was born that Goldie changed her name right then and there. She said she had decided on Rebecca, but on the 405, she said, nope, this is a Kate.
So I was curious about Goldie's motivation there. So I looked up these names on babynames.com. It turns out Kate means pure and Rebecca means snare, which is a trap for a bird. And that sounds pretty tough to me, but I don't know. Maybe Goldie had different sources. So I got curious about this, Betsy, and I looked up our names. Turns out my name means crown, which I'm not mad about. And your name, Betsy, means pledged to God. Did you know that?
Amen. I think my mom made it that way, quite honestly. Yes, exactly. All right, well, put your tiara on straight, girlfriend. Thank you very much for the pop break this afternoon. Appreciate it. Well, tonight we are going to ditch the boxed mac and cheese. Please, nobody tell my little Violet that there is an alternative to boxed mac and cheese. We're going to make our own. The easy steps coming up.
Welcome back to What's New. If you're anything like me, you're running out of dinner ideas. And if you're like me, also, you need some new recipes. We've got a new twist on an old favorite. Who doesn't love a great bowl of macaroni and cheese? 3 News food expert Doug Trattner shows us how to make a 3-cheese mac in today's Cook by Numbers.
Hey everyone, today we're making macaroni and cheese, but we're leaving the box in the cupboard. Making it from scratch in 5 easy steps. Let's get started. 3 tablespoons of butter, 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 3 cups of whole milk, 3 cups of assorted shredded cheeses, 1 pound of macaroni, salt and pepper. First step in making mac and cheese is to make a bechamel sauce. And the first step in making a bechamel is to make a roux. A roux is simply equal parts fat and flour cooked together until blended. We're using 3 tablespoons of butter, 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Roux are used to thicken soups, sauces, chowders, and of course mac and cheese. You want the heat on medium and you want to stir continuously. Long enough to cook the raw taste out of the flour, but not long enough to color the mixture. This is going to be a blonde roux. Okay, this is looking good. I'm going to switch to a whisk here and slowly stream in the milk. We're using 3 cups of whole milk. Don't add it all at once, just slowly stream it in while you stir with a whisk. You'll see how creamy it becomes. It really starts turning into a sauce here, and as you continue to cook it, it will continue to thicken. We don't want a really thick sauce here because we're adding a lot of cheese in the next step. So the key is to just get to the point where it's nice and creamy and ready to accept the cheeses. So the bechamel is looking smooth and silky. Now it's time to add the cheese. I'm adding 3 cups of shredded cheese, a mix of Swiss, sharp cheddar, Puryear, and Parmesan. Use whatever cheeses you have on hand, but definitely try to use a combination because you're going to end up with a rounder flavor and better texture. Add them in small handfuls, slowly whisk them in. Don't add it all at once. You want to kind of work it in and let it melt and then add the next batch. So we all know how to boil water, make pasta. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of salt here. You can use any pasta you want, the classic elbow macaroni. I'm using these fun corkscrew noodles. I like to cook the pasta about a minute less than you would if you were going to eat it right away. We're going to be mixing with hot cheese. I'll probably have leftovers that are going to be reheated. So I cook it, about a minute shy of al dente. So my pasta is done and drained. Now I'm just adding it to the cheese sauce. And then I'm going to stir to combine. So creamy, so cheesy, so rich. No box needed.
So Violet Honey, if you're watching, Mommy needs to make Doug's mac and cheese. It's so much better than the mac and cheese that comes out of the box. There is something even better. So Violet, you make sure that Mommy makes Doug's mac and cheese. And Betsy, on a quick personal note, my son watches every day from California. Last week, Doug told us how to make homemade pizza, and my son tried it, and he said it was phenomenal.
Oh, good.
He said it was absolutely great. So, Doug, thank you. And if you want any of Doug's recipes, you can get them on our website, wkyc.com/Doug Trattner. So, Betsy, you have to make Violet some real macaroni and cheese.
You are so ornery on a Thursday. I'm telling you what, I'm trying to figure out if I could just add a few drops of red food coloring to get it to that construction barrel color that is so associated with real mac and cheese, right?
She will know. You better make her the good stuff.
I totally will. Uncle Jay says so. Oh, Yvette.
Yes.
All right, let's
what's
take
the
a
weather
look
look like?
At what the forecast is doing. Most certainly, I'm going to get myself out of this conversation real quick. We have some cloudy skies and a few rain showers that are still going on across the area, and this is going to linger as we get into the overnight. There's a frontal boundary draped across the area. That will slide south, and as it does so, it's going to take the temperature south with it. The rain showers are not complete coverage. We have a lot of clouds in play, but you can see the rain showers are generally scattered around northeast Ohio. They'll be coming and going, nothing particularly heavy, but at this time, the temperatures are still kind of hanging out in the low 50s along the Lakeshore. Remember, at the 4 o'clock hour, Cuyahoga County Airport was at 61 degrees. Then it went to 55. Now they're down to 52. The north wind is moving in, and it will start to press southward as we head through the evening, as I mentioned, so those temperatures will be coming down. The bigger picture shows the swirl associated with the upper-level storm system that's going to cut through the Tennessee Valley. So we're really just riding the northern periphery, the northern fringes of this whole storm system. Thankfully, we don't have to deal with severe weather that's ongoing down in the deep south. Now, as far as tomorrow goes, we're going to call it 50s on average. This is where things get a little bit tricky. We will have clouds to start. We'll have some some sun in the afternoon, but the temperatures will be dependent upon location. 40s close to the Lakeshore, 50s, and then even 60s the farther south that you go. My folks down in tropical Dover and Carrollton over toward Millersburg, you're probably going to end up in the low 60s tomorrow afternoon. We're going to get stuck in the low 50s and then even some upper 40s on the Lakeshore. Universal Windows Direct Forecast has us near 60 with rain moving in on Saturday. That rain is coming late day. We could even see low 60s across all of Northeast Ohio. All depends on how much sun we get early in the day. Right around 50 then with rain showers likely on Sunday. Sunday going to be a little bit dreary for us, but things are going to get better. Monday, we're going to just see a few clouds around, and then temperatures are going to be increasing into the low and maybe even mid-60s by Tuesday of next week. We'll be right back.
Hi, sure. Natalie Corrivo's grandmother tested positive for COVID-19, but when she checked the list of nursing... Go.
All right, you work from home friends. I'm sure most of you can relate to this post. They're all work from home thoughts, which include changing out of her PJs in the morning to her afternoon PJs, or asking herself when the last time she washed her hair and telling herself, maybe I should shower today. We all know that a perk of working from home means staying in comfy clothes, but you can do something to dress up while you are at home and still look comfortable. Willoughby Boutique shop owner Angie Vodopivek, there we go, says there's nothing some good layering can't fix. She suggests blazers and jewelry to jazz up an otherwise comfy outfit.
So this is just a black mock, and this, I threw on this black blazer. So even though you're on Zoom, and you could have leggings on the bottom half, you still look very professional and polished. And then I threw a few pieces of jewelry that we carry in our shop, Goriana, on, to kind of dress it up.
So that was a turtleneck under a blazer, definitely business casual. But Angie has some tricks that will keep you right in your jammies, too.
It's just a t-shirt and a pair of joggers that match it, and then I threw on a like a gray wrap jacket so that it dressed it up a little bit. And again, a nice piece of jewelry. So even though it's camo, it's still, you know, a little bit dressy. And then when you're done with your Zoom meeting, you can take off the jacket and still have a pretty cute, comfy outfit.
Who says you can't work from home while you're working at work? Nice camo sweatshirt over the turtleneck dress. Hey, how you like me now? All right, well, I think we can all get on board with this whole concept, although I probably won't be doing it much longer. If you're interested in any of the pieces that you just saw, Yogi's Closet is doing a sale on Facebook Live on Sunday. She'll even wrap the clothes for you just in case you're going to give them as a present. And don't forget, Mother's Day is coming up next month. We'll be right back.
Our Worth the Watch is brilliant today. Lindsay Shelton had a problem getting her dog to sit still long enough to click his nails. So what she did was she put some peanut butter on her head, which was wrapped in saran wrap. The dog is so entranced by it, just sits there and lets her trim his nails, no problem. Pretty cool, Bets. That's it for What's New.
That's right. What matters most starts right now.
Reopening Ohio. The governor